Welcome guys, you might notice we're in the Evo. Kind of cool news, kind of sad news. For FD, if you remember last year, I was bringing my S13 around as my display slash get around car, but it was kind of annoying because it didn't have AC and it got really beat up being transported in the toter. So this year, I'm actually gonna be bringing the Evo. We're bringing it over to the shop so I can go over it, make sure it's safe, go over a couple things, make it look nice before it gets loaded, and off to St. Louis for the first round of Pro 1. Now, you would think that I would be like super stressed about having this car on the toter. Things kind of get a little scratched up and beat up in there, but I really want to repaint this car with like brand new paint and make it look super, super good. So if any car is going to go in there and any car that I could be okay without for, you know, whatever the month or two that the toter arm's going to be on the road, it's going to be the Evo. But you'll notice we're in here.
Pumpkin cold brews Brackentown.
Yes, it is. And I'm way too excited about this, so I had to go in there and make them mad and get 6 of them just because I wanted to bring them for all the guys at the warehouse that haven't tried them before. So
I haven't tried before.
First sip on cam, dude. No, that's fine. I'm just kidding.
Stop. I can see the hype. That's good. As you guys may or may not know, the homie Tommy's Colorado giveaway just ended yesterday, and if you still want to get entered to win a pretty rad truck, the homies over at Hoonigan are giving away their Project Boomhauer, which is a 1974 Chevy C10, 600 horsepower Texas speed crate motor, NASCAR boom tubes, and it's California smog exempt. So if you want a shot to enter to win that one, every dollar spent on Hoonigan.com or Carcane Supply will get you entered for a chance to win. And that giveaway ends Monday, so don't sleep. I'll make sure there's a link down in the description, and I wish them the best of luck with it. We were supposed to do a giveaway back in like April, May, but things have just been so hectic that I've just really been wanting to focus on our builds that we have going on right now rather than jumping into another build. Just having all this unfinished stuff is like really starting to get to me. If you guys remember, there were a lot of comments on the video about the weird exhaust stuff going on because we were in a time crunch. We weren't able to get the ideal setup. So this is what was on the car, and the original plan was to be able to make our own quad exhaust tip, and it just turned into a mess trying to get everything to work with the diff. And then I remembered I actually had the rear section for my American Racing exhaust that came on the GT350. So if you look under here, from this point back is actually the same exact exhaust that I used to have in the car, and it's the same amount of volume as a straight 4-inch. Three.
Oh, there's 3s?
Yeah, 3 inch.
So I guess technically it's more because it's 2 3-inches. So there's no real concern about restriction other than maybe the muffler's restricting a little bit, but if they're designed for an NA car to make a bunch of power, they're probably not the most restrictive things in the world. So Johan made his own actual 4-inch round to oval, basically.
Yeah.
Kinda. It was really cool. Well, actually, he probably has footage of it. You filmed all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really cool how you made like the 2 half pieces to make this Y.
Yeah.
And it looks really nice, and it slides right onto the factory axle back.
So I was going to use a transition 4 to 3 inch, but try to use as minimal of the 3 inch as possible. But then I was like, I had some scrap laying around, so I was like, oh, I'll squeeze these down, join these like pipes that I have welded together into that, cut it, and then make it go to the factory exhaust.
Because what you had originally was like, it looked way prettier.
Right.
But we were concerned maybe that small
Restriction.
3-inch single for one set. Well, yeah, you have the piece right over here. Could potentially create some sort of bottleneck. But he had the really cool piece where it wide out. But we were just concerned because we would have had to go from this, then step up to 4, that could potentially create a tiny little bottleneck. Where this is ideal. I'm excited for you to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because it's cool. But we are contemplating, I know a lot of people got really upset with us, specifically the people that live down in Australia, for recirculating the wastegate, potentially having an open wastegate now that the car is a little bit quieter to kind of give it a little bit more spice up top. But Mike,
I don't know. Do you remember what this car used to sound like?
Yes.
Okay. Wait till you hear it now.
Okay.
I mean, like what it used to sound like when it was Voodoo, like when it was a V8.
Yes, I vaguely remember that.
I'm gonna have to put a sound clip in now of like a Mustang cold start. I'm sure I have one in a video. Mike's got plenty of time when he's sipping his wine to go find one of the clips.
Yo, stop it.
Yeah. Look at this though. We got perfect quad exhaust fitment. Looks like a stock GT350.
They'll never know until you put a hood on, or when you put a hood on.
Ready, Michael?
Ready. I dig that.
Dude, it sounds just like it did when it had the Voodoo.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think the mufflers like have some sort of bland rasp inside of them that gives it this like deep kind of little bit of like natural rasp tone.
Yeah.
It sounds sick
It's
though, right?
really nice. It's good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That is so good.
I could not picture it sounding any better.
No.
Still gotta fix that dang brake light thing. Apparently that's a thing that all the brakes on all the Mustangs, there's like a fix for it. You just change the little foot.
The brakes
rest.
break?
Yeah. Well, the brake light sensor just keeps getting triggered. But it sounds fantastic. We were worried the mufflers were gonna quiet it down too much.
Nah.
But I think it's perfect.
No, yes, it has enough RAF idle, so it sounds like the stock car, and on top it's like you could tell it's sort of inline six, but
Yeah, towards the bottom it basically is a Voodoo. And then
Yeah.
once it gets over like $3 or $4 grand, then it's like, something's up here.
yeah.
Maybe we'll go film some drive-bys later tonight once it dries up a little bit.
Yeah.
When we first started doing the bear swap, a lot of you guys were tagging a company in Australia called Mackie Black Industries, and Mitch over at Mackie Black sent us some cool trick bits for the Barra. So one of the things, instead of our like factory modified thermostat housing, he sells a really cool one that actually has a lock on the cap and has built-in AN fitting for the turbo line and a built-in fitting for the overflow. So instead of this one, I think this will look a lot cleaner and it'll give us a higher pressure cap. And with it, he actually has a high flow thermostat too. So if we want to ditch the drilled out thermostat that we currently have, we've got this from him. Another thing too, which we're not going to be able to install right now, it's a really big problem on the Barras to have the actual bolts for the flex plate back out. So this is kind of like a locking plate that helps keep them from spinning and kind of ties them all together. But what I'm the most pumped about, this piece is really cool. This is actually a bracket that goes on the front cover of the motor and then has these little brackets to hold the water lines on. So it'll be nice, tidy, and neat versus this, which is kind of like sticking out and a little bit more funky. So I'm pumped on that. So, kind of screws me up since my overflow is here and it's going to round that way, but it's actually a good thing because I'm planning on putting the catch can here. I like always keeping catch cans as far away as I can from the exhaust side, just in case there's ever an overflow or anything oil related to prevent fires. So, I'm going to take this catch can, move it over to the other side, move this overflow over to the other side, and then either later tonight or tomorrow, I'll start making lines and getting my catch can all set up and figured out. This is just a universal setup from the auto parts store. Just slides over the radiator post, which happen to work perfect for this.
Sir?
I've never had that happen in my life. What?
I don't know.
I'm so confused. How does that make any sense?
I don't know, bro.
How am I supposed to bleed it? Oh my god. It's disgusting.
I'm sorry for laughing.
But why doesn't that happen on the stock one?
Good. Now it's like, it sounds,
It's perfect.
phenomenal. Well, I'm so excited to go get Chinese food and drive it. Let's go.
It sounds so good now. Sounds so obnoxious. I feel like I'm 12 again. Just sneezing at people as I go by. Okay, so good. Wild. I'm still not super sure why it does that weird slippy thing.
Yeah.
From third to fourth. But I spoke to the people and they said to take some logs and see what's going on, but it could just be something to do with the torque converter, which still like kind of goes over my head a little bit. But it's just weird because it doesn't do it on other gears. It just only does it on the 3-4. I want to let the record hold that Mike thought edamame was octopus. I'm not lying. Not the most economical engine. You'd think I get better gas mileage at 900 horsepower, but
No.
no, it's not that.
No, it's not that.
It sounds like an RB, doesn't it?
I think it sounds kind of like a GZ.
Well, I disagree with you, sir. Damn. Before I forget to film any of this, this is what you can expect for this year's official team merch for FD. These aren't going to be for sale on the site probably for like another 2 weeks, but we're going to have them with us at St. Louis, which is actually having spectators. So that'll be kind of interesting, but it's very cool that you guys will be able to go to the very first round of FD. We'll have these there, as well as some other stuff, I think like masks, tees, and a couple other things. Oh, and look at this. I forget if I'm supposed to show you this or not. I'm not supposed to, actually. But I guess I can, actually. I'll show you guys. Look. The next GT350 Barra shirt. It came out so good. It's a back print, and then the front has a kind of cool logo that ties in with it. I love this shirt. So this stuff is all going to be dropping probably in about 2 weeks, but we will have it all at FD. So if you're there, you'll get first dibs before anybody else has access to it. So we talked a lot about adding AC to this car. We're kind of going at this in a little bit different way than we've done and stuff with the past, because usually we're either not using AC or it's AC with a factory system. So Johan already spliced in the plug from the factory control, since that's all controlled by the body module. And then you want to walk us through what you're doing with the lines?
Yeah, so I added AM fittings to the hard lines on the car. And then from there we're using metal, stainless steel AM fittings, and then PTFE line to run with those fittings, and then use those as the AC lines. Makes it easier to swap to do the AC, and it's nicer. And then just the plug for the chassis, we're using the same plug, we just extended it, because on the old setup it was used to be on the passenger side, but on this setup it's on the driver's side. So we extended it, plug it right in, and technically speaking, it should work as long as the car sees everything and is happy.
So the only thing that I'm not super aware of is why people haven't done this in the past. When I hear custom AC lines, I feel like people usually go to like crazy hose shops and stuff. Is the fact that people don't use AN lines because of price? Is it because it's not a known thing? Like, I've never heard of people using AN lines for AC.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a super common thing, and also the price. You got to factor the price that it's going to cost to run those lines. To most people, it's just easier to go to the hose local, like local hose shop, and get the lines made, but they won't look as nice. This will look a lot nicer, and you could route them in a way that you can't route the other ones.
Makes sense.
You're dependent on how they crimp the hose or how well you make the line, and then take it to them to crimp it. With these, at least, it's AM fittings. You can clock it, you know, how you want, and then make the line, and it's accessible. On these ones, we use the regular AM fitting, so you could put your AN on that side, and then when you tighten it down, you got something to, you know, hold on to, so you don't twist the line off. And the same over there. And then on the compressor, we just weld the AM fittings to the fittings on the compressor, and then the line would just bolt to that.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so hopefully that works out.
And the cool thing is too, since we still have the stock DME kind of piggybacked, if there is some sort of RPM cutoff, it'll still have the same RPM cutoff, because the car is seeing RPM signal and can relay that to the body control module. It's been a really long day. Me and Freddie went for a drive in the Evo, and then the same exact spot where the Mustang crashed, or sorry, where the Mustang broke, where the E36 broke, the Evo broke. Ironically, a crank trigger error again, this time because of a short of wire. Then we get pizza, and look what happened. We got this delivered, and they show up like this.
She must have been driving the Barra over here, dude.
Dude, she rolled up in an FRS, and like, it looked low, but it didn't look like it's fast enough to do that. Like, it definitely didn't have a turbo, and no NA FRS is doing that.
I mean, it's already pre-rolled for you, so...
Dude, we gave her a really nice tip, too. I was like in a great mood at that point. My night hadn't gotten really, really bad, but now it's really bad.
She hit up OSW
Thanks,
before coming
Sam.
here.
Samantha. If you guys want to talk to her, it's Samantha@Giorgio'sPizza.com. Well, changing a crank sensor was already an ordeal on its own, and the timing gear came off with the crank pulley, and now we got to retime the motor. Thankfully, Freddie is here because I'm clueless when it comes to any of this stuff.
I don't know what this is.
Freddie broke my car. There's a lot of bad things happening.
It's been a hell of a day, all right?
Gentlemen.
What?
What did you do today?
What did I do today?
Yeah.
Gentlemen did a lot today.
Yeah?
I did.
Gentlemen hustled today. He
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah, a lot.
I can't-
FD is important.
Only thing I'm impressed on is like the 48 spark plug.
Well, that's what Freddie wanted. That's what Freddie's gonna get. And I told Adam, he's like, all right.
Freddie's gonna be with us at all the rounds, and he told Shulman that he needs a spark plug for every run that I do.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much true. I bet I'll do less than 48 runs this year.
Oh yeah.
What? Why is that funny?
No, you're not wrong.
Is that some kind of sick joke?
No.
First off.
Can we get some tunes? You want me to Freddie, you are my favorite human.
Sometimes.
Thank you for being willing to help me get this thing back together. I just decided the rig needs to leave at 9 a.m. for St. Louis. It's already 11. By the time we get the rest of the car torn apart, get it retimed, put it back together, we're gonna be like 3, 4 a.m. We're gonna be dead tired, then have to come back here, load up. So I made the executive decision. no Evo is coming with us for FD. So if you're going to be at the St. Louis one, we're looking forward to see the Evo. I'm sorry. The whole purpose behind bringing it was A, as a cool display car, and B, as a cool get around town car, since I could fit 4 people in it. Now, all my other 4-seaters are basically not functional. We have the Mustang, which I don't rely on enough right now. It doesn't have AC. And then Chaser's down, other Chaser's down, Skyline's down, and do I have any other 4-seaters? I don't think so. Except for one car that you guys haven't seen in a very long time. My one and only BMW 335i. So we're gonna go to the warehouse where all the cars go to die. I'm gonna bring a jump pack. It's a window cleaner to wipe all the dust off. Maybe an air pump to pump the tires up since it's been sitting for like a year at this point. I'm gonna start it up and I'm gonna beat the crap out of it. It's either gonna last or it's gonna blow up. Probably has clogged injectors at this point, but I don't really have another choice right now, and I figure it's better to put that car to some good use and take it. I've been paying registration and insurance all this time, so I might as well take it, go have some fun with it, and hope that it works. So maybe you guys that have been a part of the channel for a while will be excited to see it again or to possibly see it in person, but it is just a plain old BMW 335i, so you probably don't care. But yeah, that's where we're headed. Basically sat since the open house, which is back like what, December. Yep. Really hadn't been driven much around then. Got moved here like 3 months ago, so it's been basically sitting almost a year. Now we're gonna see, does it still rip? Fuel system's probably clogged, but we don't have time to clean it right now. Let's see how she sounds, Mike. AC's cold. It works. It works. Thank you guys for watching this video. A lot of stuff went wrong. A lot of stuff you guys didn't even see. I wanted to do a donut for you guys, but the car says engine oil below minimum, and it's got a big red flashing light, and Freddie won't let me do donuts. So I guess we'll just have to be okay with the burnout.